Hello and welcome back to episode 4 of a football chat show. Again, you're joined by me, Ewan, and my co-host Jamie.
Hello. How's it going?
Yeah, not bad. I'm gonna start the episode now by saying we've both been struck down with this common cold that's going around. So if we sound a bit there or whatever throughout the podcast, that is why.
Yeah.
But apart from that, how are you, Jamie?
I'm all right, except for the fact that, as you just said, cold. And also, I spoke to you yesterday, and every single thing that I've said in the past 3 podcasts, I've gotten completely wrong. And it's really annoying me. So I'm going to do my best to put in some actually decent predictions this podcast. Because it's frustrating me that I haven't actually got something right yet. Other than Man United winning, but you predicted the score, so it doesn't...
I got it bang on. I can't believe that.
It's so jammy, but yeah. That's me at the moment, just annoyed.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I think we're gonna dive straight in this week. The transfer gossip's kind of dying down a bit, so we've not really got too much to talk of on that end. And it is an unbelievable week for action. We need to unpack so much in the Premier League. We need to repack it for next week. That doesn't really make sense, but I've tried to use an analogy. And then we need to look at the Champions League. So let's get straight into it. Great weekend of Premier League football, wasn't it? It was a vintage weekend.
Yes, mate, it was brilliant.
Well, maybe not for you, but for everyone else it was quite good. We'll start on the Saturday with the 2:12:30 kickoffs. There was Chelsea versus Man City and Manchester United versus Villa. I think we'll go with the Chelsea City game. It was on TV. I know you watched the United Villa game perfectly legally.
Yep.
But we'll go on to that in a minute. The Chelsea City game, 1-0 City, and I think I kind of predicted the way this would go. I didn't exactly get the score. I did think Chelsea would score. To be fair, I didn't think City would win. I did think it would maybe be a draw. I thought it would be tight, but yeah. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, as you said, I didn't watch it because I was busy watching, my perfectly legal Man United stream. But by all accounts, it seemed that City outplayed them for the most part, and it was a win they deserved, even if it was a deflected goal. So
yeah,
I think at home it's probably not a great. Well, it's not a great result for Chelsea at all. You kind of hope for them to keep a clean sheet at home and at least get a draw, but yeah, it appears not.
Yeah, we said, didn't we? These games, these big top 6 games that you play this season, it's a don't lose. And obviously Chelsea have not managed to do that yet. They've played Liverpool and City and only picked up 1 point.
Yeah.
Which is not ideal for them. City did dominate them. The thing City are really lacking is that Aguero figure up front. I think I did watch this game. I did watch this game, and it just feels like they've got all the gear, just missing that one piece. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, I think that's what people are saying a lot about City at the moment, isn't it? I mean, we'll talk about PSG later, but it seems that's what they missed there, but they still managed to win this game, so there's that.
Well, I was looking at their front four, and I said it in the pod last week. I think I said City have the front 5 in the City oh my god, I'm a nightmare. Their front 5 in the PSG game anyway was Bernardo Silva, De Bruyne, Grealish, Sterling, and Mahrez, I think.
Yeah.
I could get that wrong and I could look stupid.
No, I think that's right.
And it was very similar in the Chelsea game. I think it was Bernardo Silva, De Bruyne, Grealish, Jesus, and Foden in the City game, in the Chelsea game. And they all just want to play in the same position. All of those 7 players I've just mentioned all want to be in the same position, apart from maybe Jesus. But Pep's gone with his only 9 that you'd say going into the season. You're going to play on the wing this year. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, that's very odd when you've got, and he's a good player. Like he's not great. He's not Aguero standard. I think City fans acknowledge that. But he's a goal scorer. He'll score you goals. I mean, he scored one of the most iconic goals in City history with the Centurion effort, didn't he?
Gonna pretend I know what you mean, but
he scored the goal that got them 100 points. He lobbed the Southampton goalkeeper, and it basically meant it secured 100 points for them.
Famous City goals are just either the Aguero goal or just goals.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But yeah, it's right. But yeah, I mean, like, they all just want to be in the same position, and they'll all create chances, but not one of them is clinical enough to finish all those chances. I mean, Grealish has looked pretty bright recently. I think he's been probably...
Yeah, I don't know. He
the
did get a bit
standout one for
pocketed
them.
against PSG, but again, that's for later.
Yeah. I mean, he looked good against Chelsea. Chelsea just didn't create. They created one or two chances, and again, Lukaku looked dangerous on the end of them. I mean, they did score, but it was ruled out. It was miles offside. Like, I don't even know what Havertz was doing that far offside. But yeah, I mean, Lukaku did score that chance. It couldn't have not. But yeah, I mean, Chelsea have not had the best week. We'll come on to that when we look at the Champions League in a bit. But it's kind of exposed a few flaws in the Tuchel system, because they're very don't concede many and will score a one or two. But when you don't score one or two and still don't concede many, it doesn't go very well. Do you know what I mean? They have been found out. I mean, I've said it the whole time. I love the way they play, and when they play, they look really good. But if you figure out how to play against it, i.e., nick a goal here and there, you're going to be fine, because they're not going to offer too much coming forward, especially against these teams like City and Liverpool. Because even against Liverpool, they didn't create a huge amount. They had a few half chances, but Liverpool would definitely had the better chances in that game. So, yeah, it's an interesting one. I think Chelsea is a very crucial part for their season. They've got a big away trip at Southampton coming up. Home trip, sorry. I think they've got Southampton at home, but still, it's a big test for them, I think.
No, I'd probably agree. I think the teams that are at the top will always should always have a difficult patch of the season that they have to get through. And if this is theirs, then be it. They just need to work their way through it.
It's not a bad patch to have, is it? You don't want to be losing to the teams like Burnley's, etc. You want.
It's not like they've been battered either, is it?
No.
So yeah, I'd expect them to bounce back after the Champions League and this.
Yeah, I mean, so would I, but. Yeah, I mean, it's a bit worrying for Tuchel. I see a lot of people... I'm not going to use the words that people use to describe the way Tuchel plays football, because if this podcast ever does get monetised, it will be demonetised immediately.
Okay.
But, yeah, I mean, it's a bit anti-football, isn't it? You look at their lineup from the weekend, for example, had 8 defensive-minded players in it. Their midfield was Kovacic, Jorginho, Kante, and...
Well, it's Brexit, but enough. German, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's very, very odd. I'm not sure where he's going with this. You can't let that win the league. I mean, unfortunately, they might, but I really hope they don't. I'd rather City, Liverpool, or even United, who play average football, win the league. To be honest, it does leave us quite nicely on to United, who did lose 1-0 to Villa at home.
Yes.
Which obviously you watched the perfectly legal stream for.
I did.
Give us your thoughts on that.
I was a bit disappointed, obviously, because I think I said in the last podcast that we really should have beaten Villa.
The
thing is, we didn't dominate them at all. They deserved to win the game. They got it really late on from a corner, which is frustrating because we've been quite good from set pieces this year so far.
Yeah.
And to concede from a corner is never fun, because it feels like a goal that was free for them that shouldn't have been. And then obviously Bruno gets a penalty in the 94th, 95th minute or whatever. And normally you'd put your house on Bruno Fernandes to score a penalty, but
my kidneys are going on that.
Yeah, exactly. But absolutely skied it. It still hasn't come down yet. But
it's odd. It's a very odd penalty.
It was a strange penalty, but it
intentional.
stinks of Steven Gerrard, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's so odd. I mean, we're not going to sit here and make up conspiracy theories, because they're for weirdos. But it does feel very odd. It's not like... Why would he ever do that? He never does that. Like, the time to do that is when you're 5-0 up. Just leather it. Go, yeah, go on, let's make it emphatic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not in the 94th minute. To
be fair, Emi Martinez is quite good at being a twat when it comes to penalties.
Right in his head, hasn't he? In his head.
I mean, he did it with Yerry Mina, didn't he? In the Copa America.
Yeah.
But it does bring up the question of whether you put Ronaldo on pens now, or
yeah. I mean, surely he gets the next one, doesn't he?
I don't know. I think you'd be surprised because Bruno's had 2 full seasons with us now.
Yeah.
Well, coming up to 2 full seasons, so
it's looking like Bruno's going to take the armband for a couple of weeks, though, isn't it?
Yeah, he will.
So potentially he might go. Do you know what? I'll let Cristiano have a couple. Do you know what I mean? It might be a case of him stepping up and going, you know what, I'll let you have them. Do you know what I mean?
At the end of the day, whichever decision the manager makes is the right decision for me. I mean,
exactly.
they're both elite penalty takers, so whoever takes it, whatever, they will miss a couple. I mean, if Ronaldo misses penalties, it happens. The best players miss penalty. Messi is not a great penalty taker, but
no, exactly.
It happens. We just need to bounce back again. We haven't played well since the Leeds game at the beginning of the season.
Yeah. I want to touch on that.
Okay.
Now, before we go to the Champions League, because it will look a bit out of place there.
Mm-hmm.
Where's your stance on Ole at the moment as a United fan?
As
a neutral, leaning towards not liking Manchester United.
Yeah, I was going to say,
stays forever.
Not neutral.
I hope he stays forever.
Yeah.
Because while he's there, I never feel like he's going to cause us issues. If anything, he helps us out more than anything because he loses games when he shouldn't, and he beats Man City.
Yeah, he does beat City. That is the one like redeeming factor of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But I don't know. It's difficult. I've been Ole out not Ole out, like passively. If it was like politics, right, and the right hand side is Ole out and the left hand side is Ole in, I'm like centre right.
Right.
So I'm not like these people that like just sit on Twitter and abuse him for 24 hours a day. But I'm also not going to sit here and defend him because he does make some really questionable decisions.
The thing is, now is not the time to defend him. Like, if you're going to stick with him, and then at the end of the season, depending on what he's achieved, defend him or attack him. Then not attack him, but express your feelings. Then, do you know what I mean? We're 10 games into a season, 11 games into a season. It's unlikely he's going to get the sack in the next couple of weeks if he is going to be sacked.
No, I think he would. I think it would have been a bit more contentious had Ronaldo not have scored last night. But
I mean, it would have hinged on this weekend a lot, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, so sorry, I cut you off there.
No, it's fine. I think
a little bit more context on him and United at the current state.
I mean, in terms the way that a board will look at it is that they've spent a lot of money on the team since Ollie has come in to make it the team that he actually wants. I think we're probably one player away from that. Realistically, I think that player is
holding midfielder.
Declan Rice or Phillips or Kessie or whoever you want, but one of them, and that's the one player that he hasn't got to make his full team yet. But he's in his third full season now. If you look at Jurgen Klopp in his third full season at Liverpool, I mean, you were pushing for the league, weren't you?
I think this was his third full season.
Wasn't that the year you signed Van Dijk in January?
Yeah, I think, and we went for the Champions League. I'll just double check that for you. Excuse if you can hear any.
No, I think you won the Champions League. So I think
we didn't win it the year Van Dijk joined. He joined. And
of course, no, you lost in the final. Yeah, so I think the way that the board will see it is if he doesn't really, and I when I say really challenge for a trophy, I mean like get into another final, but like not the Europa League final.
Yeah.
Or win a trophy, then he has to go at the end of this season.
I think that's fair enough.
Because
the thing is the FA Cup or the Carabao sufficient enough?
No. Well, we're out of the Carabao Cup anyway, so
yeah,
that isn't an opportunity anymore. The FA Cup.
Oh yeah, obviously. I completely forgot about that.
Oh well, I didn't. Well, the FA Cup has some kind of standing. It's still not a big cup, is it?
No. Well, no, but it's one of them ones that Ole will win and go, well, I won the FA Cup. What more do you want me to do? Do you know what I mean?
I don't know.
I think still means something to managers.
I think he understands that. I mean, Man United have never won FA Cups. Really bad at it. Rio Ferdinand hasn't won an FA Cup.
That is quite bad, isn't it?
We never used to win it because Arsenal were so good at it. We just used to win the Carabao Cup while City was shit.
Yeah.
And we won the league a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I think he's got to run whoever it is, Liverpool, City, Chelsea, really close to the league, or he's got to really run at the Champions League. Otherwise, it's curtains. Because you can't keep wasting time and money on someone because he's a United legend. You can't do that.
We've got a couple of interesting weeks coming up for him. I think Everton at the weekend is a test because Rafa is a good manager, Maybe not with the best squad, but he's a very decent manager. I don't know who you've got straight after the international break, but I know the week after that you've got Liverpool, and that's a big test.
we've got all of the other 5 of the top
Yeah.
6 within
which is quite
a month and a half.
within 6 games. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a huge period. If you come out of that with 4 maybe 5-6 points, you're in trouble, and he's got to be looking down the barrel of a gun then.
Yeah.
But if we move past that, if you come out of it with 9, 12, 15, you're in a lot better situation, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
It's quite interesting because I wonder if the board are hearing fans more and will go, yeah, they don't want this, and there's other managers readily available, so we'll go and get them.
Yeah. Well, the problem we have is that we at the moment we rely on our individuals to be as good as they are, and they are, which is the problem. So,
sure, yeah.
Because Ronaldo is Cristiano Ronaldo, we'll win a game because he's that good, or we'll win a game because Rafa Varane will clear it off the line, or we'll win a game because David De Gea is in the form of his life again.
Yeah.
Which we almost don't need. We need, we need to play as a team.
2 seasons ago.
Yeah, we need De Gea from last season to just like put some. I'm not saying self-sabotage because I'd never want to lose a game to lose.
No, I know what you mean.
But I'd rather us play as a team than be a load of individuals. Really.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I think that sums that up quite nicely because obviously we will move on to the Champions League later. I think that's another whole talking point on its own as well. I think we'll go on to Brentford, Liverpool there. We'll cover all the big games, then we'll come back to some of those noticeable results in the rest of the fixtures. Brentford, Liverpool, obviously, I don't know if you watched this.
I did. It was bonkers.
I did watch it, and it was a great game, to be fair. It's one of them games that you hold your hands up and go, do you know what? It happens once or twice a season. You just have a mental game, and you've got to accept that maybe you've dropped a few points. I think Liverpool will look at that as definitely 2 points lost instead of a point gained.
No, I agree.
Privately, they'll definitely be looking at it like that. Outwardly, they said it was a point gain, but I think the only saving grace in the result is that you lost and Chelsea lost. It was always going to be.
It was kind of the same for us with Villa because we lost and all that. Oh well, nobody else won.
Chelsea lost, so it looks you're like, okay, Chelsea lost, who are direct rivals, and Liverpool only picked up a point.
Yeah.
So. And I mean that's good for us. We picked up a point when you lost. It's a very odd circle.
Yeah. No, I understand what you mean.
The City Chelsea game was always a good one for teams like us because it's like one of them has to lose. Or neither of them can get 3 points. Both of them can't get 3 points. You know what I mean? That's what I wanted to say to start with. So it's like no matter what we do, it's fine. But yeah, going back to the Liverpool game, Liverpool just looked a bit out of sorts. I think we were still decent, not electric. We scored 3 goals, so can never be bad when you score 3 goals, can you? But I mean, I said it to my dad and I said it to my brother and I said it to anyone that will listen to me talk about Liverpool. Really, I just didn't think the back four looked very on it at all. I mean, Trent was ill for 2 games or a game prior, and he definitely didn't look well. And he's just got injured. So I reckon that's a direct result of it. He's probably a bit fatigued. He's probably got what we've got. Super
he's just absolutely done.
And he's just and he was done. I mean, it was clear that the Brentford manager, pardon me, we're doing a football podcast, but I don't know his name.
Thomas Frank, isn't it?
Thomas Frank, yeah, there we go. I
bailed you out there.
Farke. I was going to say Daniel Farke, but I didn't, so that was good. But yeah, I mean, he clearly had identified Trent as a weakness and gone 3 of you on him every time the ball goes in the box because he will make a mistake. That's probably because there's 3 bodies on him because he was knackered. Do you know what I mean? He was. If you look at all their goals, all of Brentford's goals were very scrappy and very frustrating goals for Liverpool to concede, whereas our goals I felt were good footballing goals. I mean, the first one is an unbelievable cross from Henderson and a good header from Jota. The Salah one is just a great pass from Fabinho, who's just looking better and better again this season.
Yeah.
And then the third one is great strike from Curtis Jones. I mean, element of fortune in it with it hitting Ayer as it goes through and raising over the keeper.
By the way, for a guy that is an inch taller than me, Diego Jota is disgustingly good at headering.
He's very good in the air, isn't he? He's got a very odd figure. His legs look very squat, but his upper body looks quite long. It's very weird. But yeah, I love him, which is a very weird way. I said that as if I was confessing my love to someone in front of me. But I do really, I like think he's a great footballer. Like, he has certain games where he's on fire and certain when he's not. And a lot of Wolves fans have pointed that out. But I mean, he's only 2 goals off the top goal scorer in the league, and he's not started every game, so he's playing really well. I mean, I can't really complain. And then we've just got Salah, who again is in Salah form. He's just electric. So I can't fault him. There's not much else to say. Brentford look decent. They're going to take points off some of the other top 4 this season, top 4/top 6. They've already have with Arsenal, but I wouldn't be surprised to see them have this sort of game against you or City or Chelsea. Maybe not Chelsea, but they might even nick a 1-0 against Chelsea, because they're quite resolute defensively. But yeah, I mean, it was a good game. The back 4, as I said, just didn't look on it. Van Dijk and Matip. I said to my dad, they look like never played with each other. Like, Van Dijk just was all over the place, and it was a bit weird. But
yeah, I mean, for what I would think is probably your strongest back 4, objectively, it was a bit strange.
It was odd, but it wasn't like.
It's not worrying, I don't think.
No, but it wasn't like they were good and Brentford scored goals.
Yeah,
they were bad and Brentford scored goals, which you can take some like solace out of, like some respect out of, and go like, okay, like they weren't on it. That's fine. We conceded goals and they weren't playing well. That's normal. If they played well and conceded goals, you go, that's weird. What's going on there?
Yeah.
So that's good. But again, there's not much else to say on that. I'm pleased we made up for it in midweek. Let's put it that way.
True.
We did put on a good show, and then we come to the last one. We did review last weekend, which was
Arsenal joy,
Spurs,
yes,
which I got right.
Yep,
you got wrong.
I didn't, and I took the piss. I didn't take the piss. I didn't attack Bukayo Saka either. I just questioned him a little bit, but
and he had
that came back and bit me in the arse, didn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it was weird because Arsenal were very good for the opening half.
Oh, they were brilliant. Really good.
It was one of them ones where you go, right, this is what Arteta's been trying, and it's really lucky it's come off in this game. Do you know what I mean? It's Smith Rowe, Odegaard and Saka look like a very, very exciting forward outlet.
It's definitely the best I've seen Arsenal play in, like, as long as I can remember watching Arsenal play for a long time.
They were very decent, I thought.
But also, Spurs were like hapless, like they were genuinely useless.
Nuno is just not having fun, is he? Bless him, not having fun at all.
No, and I mean, Harry Kane drops like maybe the worst I've ever seen Harry Kane play.
He was dreadful. I mean, after the Euros, I didn't think it could get much worse for the opening few games because he was dreadful, but he was really bad in that game weekend.
That Saka goal where he gives up possession in their half. They dribble all the way to the box. He's the one that misses the slide tackle, and then they score. I was like, bloody hell!
It's not.
This has not gone well for you, Harry, has it? Jesus Christ!
Especially with the situation over the summer, it just becomes a little bit more intense, doesn't it? Bless him.
I mean, he has just scored a hat-trick in the Conference League, so maybe that's good for him.
But the thing is, if he has just scored a hat-trick, I'd go, yeah, fair enough. But it's the way you go in the Conference League. It doesn't really matter. I could probably score a hat-trick in the Conference League, mate. Like, let's be honest. But no. I mean, it's good for Arsenal. That's three in a row for them after a dreadful start to the season, and it's the opposite for Spurs. So, I mean, you could have probably predicted that, I think.
Yeah.
Because I think Spurs were getting a little bit too big for their boots. And I think that Arsenal were probably not getting the results they did deserve. Maybe against City, they probably... And Brentford, definitely not. But, you know, we'll reserve judgment for a couple of weeks on Arsenal because they've got Brighton at the weekend, which I think could end up being a very good test for them.
Definitely, because Brighton are quite good at football, it turns out.
Yeah, exactly. But no, I think we'll leave that there because after that, there not much happened. I mean, Xhaka got injured, he's out for a couple of months now, which is not ideal as an Arsenal fan. I mean, maybe it is ideal as an Arsenal fan, I don't really know.
No, I don't think so. He's playing quite well, I think.
But they have got that Sambi Lokonga that I quite like the look of. So, you know, swings and roundabouts.
Need to see more of him. But, I mean, last thing on Arsenal is probably Tomiyasu has a really
Yeah.
good signing, isn't he? He's playing
I mean,
really well.
to be fair, on him, Ben White's looking decent.
I mean,
I'm holding out hope that maybe one day we can talk to Ben White, so I don't want to slag him off too much.
when you don't hear about a centre back in a game, generally
It's
they've had a
probably
good game.
thing.
So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, they're just looking better and better every week, Arsenal are. So we'll just hope that they carry it on, so we can keep saying good things about them, or maybe not. I don't know. But yeah, let's take it on to some of those more different results of the weekend. There's two I want to look at specifically. Maybe not talk too much into it. Maybe talk about the situations around the clubs, which is Leeds losing 2-1 to West Ham and Leicester drawing 2-2 with Burnley. Let's start on the Leeds result. Leeds are in trouble. I'm going to put it out there now. 3 points from 6 is not ideal.
They've only got that's really poor.
And they've drawn 3 games, so it's not like they've won 1 and then lost the rest. They've not won yet this season.
Tough.
They are struggling.
Be a shame for them to go down, because they did make some good signings this summer, and they have some players that won't go down with them.
They're not going down. Like I'm happy enough to say that. I just think that it's going to be, even in this next international break, they're going to need to reassess where they thought they might finish this season.
Yeah,
because I think a lot of their fans definitely thought Europa League was a chance, but there's no way they're doing that. They just haven't been clinical or good enough to do that.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. You can run about as much as you want, but it seems that teams have started to work out how to play against that.
There'll be teams that they beat, like Norwich and stuff like that, they should be beaten. And once you get one win, the next one comes, do you know what I mean? There's a little bit of pressure off your shoulders. So I do think that they will eventually be all right. They're just not looking 100% at the moment. It's the opposite for West Ham, who I thought were going to struggle, but just going from strength to strength. Moisey's got them playing great football.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, do you want to mention them at all? Or?
No, I agree with you. They're playing really well. We beat them, so that's good. And they're 100% in the Europa League still, which is great.
Yeah.
Be interesting to see how far they get in that, really, because they'll get out of the group now, definitely.
They should do. Yeah.
I think they've got quality, so it'd be interesting to see how far they go, especially when the teams come out of the Champions League into the Europa League.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's looking like there could be a few giants coming down at the moment, which could land them in a bit of trouble. But yeah, and the other one's Leicester, Burnley. Leicester have not started.
They're really leaky, aren't they?
Yeah. Their issue again is they're relying on Jamie Vardy. Iheanacho's not hit the ground running.
No.
Daka hasn't either. And they leaked 2 goals to Burnley. I mean, one of them was an own goal, but it's still not ideal, is it?
No. I think it's one to keep an eye on, because I don't think they've...
And they also lost today in the Europa League.
They did, yeah.
So they're not...
I think they're too good to be where they are for too long.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, with Leicester, they'll stick with Rodgers.
Yeah.
So that's fine. Like, he'll get them out of the situation. But again, I think it's going to be a reassess, because I think
there has been some positives from the way they've played. Ademola Lookman's looked quite good for them.
Apologies. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think eventually they'll be fine. Again, it might be a reassess from them. It might be okay, we're going to just get in Europe again.
Yeah.
And it needs to be Europa League and not Conference League. And I think that's what they've got to look at achieving, which I think they probably can. But again, it's probably not a knock on the door of the top 4. I think potentially West Ham could actually be looking at that at some point and going, we might push this lot. We just need one of them to make a mistake. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and United are going through a tough spell of fixtures. So I can see... Yeah. Come back to me in 7 weeks and we'll see where...
exactly.
United are and West Ham are.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I think that's what we want to say. I mean, again, Burnley not picking up a win either. They're looking a bit like they're going to struggle. Again, the bottom 6 is getting a little tight. They're all beginning to sweat a little. The managers are probably squirming every time they go into work, wondering whether they're going to get called into the big boss's office. But yeah.
You just got to say, there's still 32 games left.
Yeah, there's a lot of time left, isn't there? There is still a lot of time.
Heck of a lot of minutes left in this season, which is what I keep telling myself.
But we can now use that and look ahead to the upcoming minutes, the upcoming 90s for each team.
Yes.
there's not too many games this weekend that I wanted to preview. We can touch on a couple of them. United Everton being one of them.
Mhm.
I think we've always got to look at these big teams and who they're playing.
Agreed.
But yeah, United Everton. What are we? What as a United fan? How are we looking at that? As I said, I think you should be looking to get a result here. Maybe not batter them, but just win. Do you know what I mean? Just win, keep that confidence up.
There is no confidence. I should point out. I mean, look, we were 13 points with like everybody else, which isn't bad. At the end of the day, Liverpool are the only team that you are the only team that are left unbeaten, right?
Yeah.
So with you only being 1 point ahead is good.
Yeah, it's not bad, is it?
The only problem is that everybody else is on 13 points, so you just need to keep up. So we do need to beat Everton, especially with the games we've got on the horizon.
Said, there's a lot of minutes come in, and this is the period because you have that honeymoon at the start where you get teams like Brighton who don't drop many points for a couple of weeks, and for them it's just like, okay, we've started well, just keep it going. We don't have to win every week now. We've set expectations high, but they're not our expectations. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fine for a team like Brighton.
Yeah, but I was just about to say that. With you, it's like we just need to pick up those wins, and it's almost a case of we just need to win.
Yeah.
And that's what I was saying this weekend. Even if it is 1-0 against Everton, it's a better result than a 1-1. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Again, I do think we will win. We do have quality in...
Yeah, you are better than Everton.
Yeah, I mean, we have quality in every position, really.
I think Calvert-Lewin's out, isn't he? And potentially Richarlison and potentially Pickford, which puts you in a good position.
Yes, that does. Makes it more pressure. But yeah, we have more quality in every position, and we actually have a bench that's half decent these days.
Yeah.
Jesse Lingard comes off the bench and does amazing things pretty much every week now.
Yeah.
But I don't think it'll be like a battering, so I'll go 2-1. Jadon Sancho's come off the bench and get an assist.
We need to write these, don't we? Because we need to keep an eye on who gets what.
Yeah.
So you're going 2-1. I'm gonna go 1-0 United.
Ooh.
I think you'll win, and I think it will be like we can win and we can defend, because I think you need to prove that.
Yeah, because it'll be Victor Lindelof and Rafa Varane.
You need to prove that without Maguire, you can be sturdy, and it's not a case of if they come away from the game kind of equal possession, but they don't have 15 plus shots, which could be the case as we saw with Villarreal. If you come out of that having not conceded many shots, I think you class that as a good performance, because you're then not relying on De Gea. You're going, we can actually defend. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's kind of my point.
Last thing on United, actually, is that after the international break, there's a chance that Rashford could be back from his surgery.
Yeah, which could be good.
Which is, I genuinely think could be massive for us, because he really wasn't top of the game last season, but still got like 40 goal contributions, something ridiculous. Doesn't take penalties either. So, and we're really missing like raw pace and aggression on that side, because we're either playing Pogba there or Sancho there.
Yeah.
And while Sancho's quick, he's not Rashford quick.
Yeah.
So I think getting him back could really kick the arse up our season, hopefully.
Yeah, that could be quite nice. We'll touch on the Chelsea game. We probably won't give a prediction for that, but Chelsea are playing Southampton. I mean, again, I think that is going to be a bounce back for Chelsea. They lost to City, they lost to Juve. They have to win, and I think it could end up being one of these games where they score a few, just to go, because Tuchel will probably name a more aggressive lineup, and he'll go score a lot of goals. You know what I mean? So I think Chelsea will win that.
Who knows? Maybe Livramento might give them a reason to.
He can't play.
Oh, of course he can't.
Is
he on loan?
Yeah, he's on loan. Yeah, I'm fairly sure he's on loan. So I don't.
That's sad.
But yeah,
he's been really good.
The thing is, Southampton have taken points off a lot of these big teams so far, City and United, notably.
Manchester, yeah.
So they could continue that trend, but if Livramento's not playing, they could struggle in that sense. So, you know, it's interesting.
Yeah, I don't have high hopes for Southampton, I'll be honest.
Yeah, no, I mean, 3-3, 4-0 is what I can see that ending. I'm not going to put an official prediction in, but yeah, I think they'll score a few goals. I mean, Brighton, Arsenal, as we said, it's going to be a test for Arsenal, test for Brighton as well. See how far they've come. Can they
Also to
beat
see if
Man U?
Arsenal can keep being all right at football.
Yeah, that's what it'll be interesting to keep an eye on for sure. And then I think there's 4 games on the Sunday with Palace playing Leicester, Spurs playing Villa, West Ham against Brentford, and then the big one of the weekend, which we'll talk a little bit about, which is Liverpool versus City. Yeah, I mean that's just I can't wait. I'm buzzing. It's at Anfield. We come off a massive win in the Champions League. I think the stat is in every game apart from the Chelsea game this season we've scored 3 or more goals.
Right.
So we're scoring goals, which is very, very good.
True.
Yeah,
Mo Salah
excited,
is just looking completely inevitable, isn't he? He's
Yeah,
just a
yeah.
monster.
Yeah, he's just Mo Salah, isn't he? He's just so good.
But last time City came to Anfield, it wasn't happy
it didn't
days,
end
was
well.
it?
Yeah,
Really?
I mean, I just was looking on Twitter earlier, and it was an interesting point. They said with our next 3 fixtures are City at Anfield, Watford away, Atletico away. In those 3 fixtures,
Yeah.
the last time we played them, we lost 4-1 to City at Anfield. We lost 3-0 to Watford at Vicarage Road, and we lost 1-0 to Atletico. So it's like if we can come out of them with different results, ideally all of them changing in our favour, we're in a very good spot. Do you know what I mean? You can
Yeah.
use that as a benchmark for this team and go, okay, they are as good as these previous Liverpool teams, and they are better than last season. I don't think we're going to end up like we did last season against City, because we've got, no matter who plays, we're going to have centre backs at centre back. Whereas last year we had Fabinho and Jordan Henderson.
True.
We're going to have, which means we're going to have actual midfielders playing in midfield, and we're going to have actual attackers playing up front, which is quite cool. Milner's going to be in at right back. Trent's out, but Milner's been playing
True.
out of his skin there.
The flex tape of Liverpool's squad.
Literally. I said to my dad though, I think that Milner playing at right back could potentially be like one of them ones that is actually good for us. As good as Trent is, you know that Pep would go, he's where we could target, especially with Grealish.
Oh yeah,
But
you got
Milner
Grealish
there.
and Sterling playing on that side.
Or it could be De Bruyne. He could put him on that side just for this week, and he could put Foden on that side just for this week.
I honestly
You know
don't
what I
think
mean?
he tells De Bruyne where to play.
No, probably not. But yeah, I mean, I feel like Milner playing there is actually going to benefit us. It's interesting to see who he plays at centre back. Clearly his favourites at the moment are Matip and Van Dijk.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine it won't be them. But I wouldn't be surprised to see Van Dijk and Gomez, or Van Dijk and Konate.
I don't think it'll be Konate, but I'd put a
But
lot
if
of
he
money on it
did,
being
I'd go.
Matip.
I mean, it's going to be like, I'm 90% sure. Do you know what I mean? It's just that there's a little thing in my mind that he goes, Gomez and Van Dijk have played City together a lot. Let's get them in there. Do you know what I mean?
Right. No, fair enough.
But yeah, I mean, the rest of it seems picking itself at the moment, because we've either got injuries or the players are making themselves undroppable. Because I can guarantee the front six. I mean, I don't want to say guarantee it's Klopp, but I assume our midfield.
Yeah, but he's
will be
not Pep
unchanged.
though, is he?
No, I assume our midfield will be Fabinho, Henderson, Jones. I'd be very surprised to see Jones dropped, considering how good he's been in the last 2 games. He's not a weak link. He's a first-team midfielder for 95% of Premier League clubs, and we're in that 95%. Probably the 2 that he's not is City and United, because I reckon he could probably play in Chelsea's midfield quite capably. But yeah, I mean, and then the front 3 is whether he goes Jota or Firmino. Potentially he goes Firmino, because Firmino will occupy Diaz and whoever plays alongside Diaz differently. Whereas Jota will potentially be brought on in the last half hour to cause more issues. But yeah, I mean, it's exciting. And then City are just City. They've got seven front attackers to pick from. One of them will be De Bruyne. I would be surprised if it wasn't Grealish. And then the other 4 are completely up to Pep on the day. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know. It's
I
far
feel
from
like
a
it could be
cakewalk for either team,
yeah.
is it?
I feel like it could be similar to the Chelsea game, where City create a lot but don't take too many chances, whereas we maybe don't create as much but take those chances and have bigger chances in that sense. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Salah has more one-on-ones. Like he missed a glaring 1-1 against Brentford, but he just knows not to do that again. He knows he's not going to hook it if it gets in that situation. So yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I'm gonna back my boys. I'm going 2-0 Liverpool.
Wow, clean sheet.
Yeah, which is controversial, but I'm gonna.
No, I don't think that's that bad.
I am gonna back them. I've got to, and I do think that Anfield's gonna play a part.
Look, I'd really like you to lose just so that every team in the league has lost at least once.
Yeah.
That's not even like in a just because it's Liverpool way. I just think it'd be more exciting. But I don't think you will lose though. I think it'll be a draw. I'm gonna go 2-2. I think.
Ooh, Desmond. I mean, the thing is, I think it will be a draw, but I'm gonna back Liverpool.
You've got a back.
Well, I don't think it will be a draw, but like if it's a draw, right now, I'm taking a draw.
Oh yeah,
I just don't want to lose to City. I just can't do it. And then that closes us off before the international break, and we've been talking for a long time, but we've still got to go through the Champions League because it was probably the best week of Champions League football I can remember in a long time.
Yeah, it was pretty decent.
It was amazing.
It's about Villarreal wrong, but other than that, we're all good.
But apart from that, you're all good.
Okay.
The results are, as we want to look at, are on our screen right now. They're not on your screen, guys. Sorry, but yeah, we've got Real Madrid losing to Sheriff. I didn't watch it because
I don't know if you've watched the highlights for this game, but it's so funny.
Yeah. I mean,
it's like a 10-minute highlight video, and then obviously Sheriff score first.
Yeah.
And then it's just like a 10-minute highlight reel of Real Madrid missing chances.
Yeah.
Scoring a penalty, and then until Sheriff score at the end, it's absolutely wild.
And then Sheriff scoring one of the best goals that's going to be scored in the Champions League this season.
Amazing.
I mean, like, it was unreal. But yeah, I mean, what a story. Florentino Perez, shove that up your ass. Do you know what I mean? What a mug. I can't stand the bloke, and now this has happened. It's
poetic.
Stuff of fairy tales, really.
It's football, bloody hell.
The scariest thing is that Sheriff are owned by the KGB, which is a bit scary. So we're not going to slag them off. We love you, Sheriff. We're going to buy all your merch and stuff like that. So, yeah. But, I mean, what a result. We can't really delve into it too much because I didn't watch the game.
Well,
so
all you got to know is that they're top of the group.
Yeah.
2 wins.
Stunning
Easy dub.
Easy. Semi-finals, I reckon. No, I'm joking. I'm not going to go too premature. But, yeah. We'll touch on Milan-Madrid, which was some last-minute controversy. I mean, I don't know if you saw Kessie get sent off in this game, but it was the softest red card I've ever seen in my life.
It was 2 bookings, wasn't it? Was it
the second booking was never a booking.
Oh.
It's one of them ones where you're like, just this UEFA Spanish thing is just, it gets on my nerves. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely not a booking. I'll tell you that. And then Madrid get the luckiest penalty I've seen in a long time because Lamar wins it for a handball, but he nudges the ball onto the Milan hand.
Right.
But his handball's not picked up, but it's so intentional. But he gets away with it because it looks like he's running. Do you know what I mean? It's one of them ones where he knows he's hitting that with his hand, but it's in his motion already. So he just gives that little oomph, and then it hits the Milan hand, and they give a handball. It's just so frustrating. But I mean, it doesn't affect us too much. We did our job, we won. But yeah, I mean, Madrid winning that.
And Griezmann scored again but he's fine. He scored, second goal. Spell for Atletico. But no, I haven't seen it. Was it good?
Very good finish. Like nice little volley, in the second half.
He is still a world-class player. I mean,
yeah, he'll be fine. It's one of them. The fans aren't on his side right now. But as soon as he starts scoring goals, and because he's signed him for them, isn't he? He's an obligation to go back and.
I think it's if he makes an amount of appearances, it's an obligation.
But he will, won't he?
Yeah. Well, unless he gets injured.
Well, I mean, unless Simeone goes, I actually don't want you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I mean, 40 million euros for him is nothing. So I would be playing him and signing him next season. But yeah, it leads us on to probably the best 5 games of the week, or maybe not Benfica Barcelona, but PSG beating City 2-0. Did you watch this one?
Yes.
Good game, I thought.
I agree. Fun to watch.
It was one of them ones where
until Messi scored.
2 very good footballing sides.
Yes.
Playing each other with some of the best players in the world. I mean, started off pretty poorly for City, and Chisaganage scoring in the first 10.
What
Put them on
a
the back
what a
foot.
strike, by the way.
Yeah, he's gone. That ball is still travelling.
Yeah,
It's actually
that's
overtaken. It's overtaken Bruno's in orbit. Because he hit
Yeah.
it so hard.
proper
no.
top bins. You love to see it.
Not ideal from City at the start,
No.
and then there was the big talking point, which was KDB.
Oh
He
God,
should
yeah,
not be on
it's
the
a red
pitch.
card, man. It's a red card
It
every day
is
of the week.
outrageous, isn't it?
Especially when you consider Wan-Bissaka's red card against Young Boys the other week.
Yeah.
Which is
was not-
it's the same tackle, really.
I had both games on, the Liverpool and PSG game at the same time, and
Yeah.
I didn't see it happen. And they're like, "Oh, is it a red? Is it a red?" And I'm like, "Yeah, send it off no matter what." And I saw it, and I was like, "Oh my God, it's not even a debate."
Yeah, I
Like,
mean, De
what is
Bruyne's
he-
tackle is higher, and yeah, I don't know why.
It's obviously accidental. Like he's obviously not.
Well, it doesn't
meant to,
matter though,
but
does it?
it's not consistent.
Um,
And then the worst thing that I think annoyed me was Wan-Bissaka then got banned for longer.
yeah, for another game.
the
yeah.
next day. I was like, what?
I guess that's because
Like-
it's a straight red, and they normally do that. But I don't know. But the problem is because the ref gave the yellow card so quickly. I don't think VAR can do anything about it because the refs made.
I think they
His
can.
decision,
It's a-
but
yeah,
I
good
don't
point.
know.
Good point. I mean, it is a clear and obvious error because it is a red card. So he given a yellow is an error, but we can't dwell on it too much. As I said the other week.
No, they lost the
We'll
game
move on.
anyway. So
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we've got to touch on that Messi goal.
yeah, it's a good goal.
What a finish! What a way to announce yourself to the Parc des Princes.
Yeah, cool.
I mean, they still didn't click him, Neymar and Mbappe. They still haven't found their feet. I mean, every time I kind of looked over it just felt like Neymar was trying something a bit too stupid.
Neymar was everywhere. I've never seen Neymar with such a defensive work rate. It was a
He
bit
just
weird.
looked, when he was on the ball, he just looked a bit. Do you know what I mean? I was kind of like.
Yeah, I guess
I'd
when
have
your
you, I wouldn't.
other two attackers are Mbappe and Messi, you've probably got to
Yeah.
do some defensive work because
Yeah, exactly.
Messi just has like the lowest of low defensive work rates.
Poch goes, Messi, can you work back? He goes, nah. He's like, yeah, all right then, mate. Fair enough, got him.
Yeah.
Yeah, go on, don't worry.
But yeah, good
But yeah.
finish.
I mean, I don't think either of us kind of saw PSG winning. Well, I think I said they might. But
You did say they'd win. I said Messi will score, so everybody can
yeah,
be happy with Messi
so
again.
we kind of got that one all right. But yeah, I mean, it's not odd.
No,
But it's a result that opens the group up quite nicely.
agreed.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see City do it at the Etihad, so that's always quite cool. But yeah, it takes us on to Liverpool Porto. I'm not going to dwell on this too much because we smashed them, absolutely battered them. They were not in the game at all. The keeper, their keeper was dreadful. 3 mistakes and we scored 3 goals. And then we scored a nice goal from Salah, and Firmino scored a nice goal as well, which was probably offside, but the new VAR benefit of the doubt helped us in that situation. So yeah, I mean, a 5-1 win away in the Champions League, you can never really complain about anything. So
yeah, I mean, I didn't
There you
watch
go.
it, so I'm just going to do a virtual nod and carry on.
we
I think.
were. It was the good response because, as I said, Van Dijk didn't look good against Brentford, but he looked really, really good against Porto. Do you know what I mean? And it was the same with Matip, and it was the same. Well, Milner did his best Trent impression, and Robbo looked well up for it again. So, it was much better, which was good to see. And then on the Wednesday we had Benfica beating Barcelona 3-0.
Yep.
I've been reading a lot today. It looks like Koeman's going.
Yeah.
I don't want to comment until he is gone, and if he does go, maybe we'll touch on it next week a bit. We'll have a look at who they appoint, or if they haven't appointed anyone, we'll give our 2 pence. We'll probably be outdated by the time the podcast is released. But yeah, Barcelona looking a bit disarray at the moment, which is not nice to see because I do like they're a footballing staple, aren't they? They're a heavyweight that you don't want to see this happen to any of them.
I don't know. I think it's quite funny.
They've done it to themselves, which I'm not advocating. I think they are a disgustingly run club, but I mean, just the memories they give you for football, they give you horrible memories, but they give me Messi made me fall in love with the game just 10 times over. Do you know what I mean? Every time I watch them play, so it's not nice to see them like this.
Yeah.
But then
Maybe I just don't care. Like I'm more than happy to watch a team that isn't mine be bad at football. I find it funny, especially when like the Benfica players after the game have been like, yeah, it wasn't really a test. Like they're
Yeah,
that
but
bad.
I mean,
Yeah, I just find it hilarious.
they are just one of these clubs. Like they are the fourth team in Spain to get in now, and I mean that in the sense that in England, all four teams every time they went in, unless you get the surprise inclusion of a Leicester, were always really good, and
Yeah.
it was always like we want to beat the English team, and it's the same with the Bayern, the Dortmund, and it was the Real Madrid, the Barcelona, the Atletico, the Juve, the PSG. Do you know what I mean? And then every other team you get from those leagues, you go, they're beatable. You get Barcelona, and you go, they are beatable.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They are a Valencia from a few seasons ago because they're not. They don't have any players that you go. They walk into every team in the world. Do you know what I mean? Maybe De Jong,
Yeah.
to be fair, he is electric, and Pedri. They're probably the only two that you go. Pretty much every team in the world they'll play for, but apart from that, there's not many.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough.
And it does take us on to the two English teams. We'll go Juve Chelsea first. I had this on at the same time as the United game as well.
Yeah.
And again, Juve, they did a Tuchel to Chelsea.
Amazing.
Very resolute defensively. Nicked a nice goal very early in the second half. I mean, a lot of Chelsea fans have been quite reactionary, and they've kind of been like,
Yeah.
big, not good result, etc. It's not a good result, no, but you are away at Juve, so losing 1-0 is quite respectable in reality.
Yeah, if Juve weren't in like their worst form ever, and
Yeah.
two of their best players were injured, then maybe.
Yeah,
But I still think it's bad from Chelsea to lose.
I
to
do
Juve.
see your point, but I also think that so they're obviously quite a rough patch at the moment, Juve. Allegri's not hit the ground running in this spell, etc. But he will, and they are a good team. They're probably hitting that, they have a Ronaldo hangover that started while he was there and is carrying on to afterwards. Do you know what I mean? And it's
Yeah.
no disrespect to Ronaldo, but they clearly weren't benefiting from him in the team, the rest of the players, but their results were, because he would nick the goal that won them 1-0. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he's not there, so it's falling on other players who aren't good enough to do that. But now this will kickstart it, and they've had a few good results in recent weeks where they're going to start picking up points, and eventually it will be like they probably won't win the league this year because I think they're too far behind anyway. But do you kind of see what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
They will be fine. And
I mean,
they
this
will
sort
probably
of Champions
reach the
League
last
result
eight.
is something that you can pick up from. So it'd be interesting to
just-
see where they go from
Yeah,
here
exactly.
and end up in the league. Really.
Yeah, and I'm well aware I've spoken for a very long time throughout this Champions League bit, so I'm going to hand over the United game to you, because it was a pretty vintage Champions League game. So take
It
us
was.
away.
Unbelievably, I didn't watch the first half because I was watching Netflix. And do you know what I said to my other half? There's no point in me watching the first half because we are never any good in the first half, so I just won't watch it.
It's a good
No
thing you
no
didn't.
goals in the first half, and we got battered. The only thing that kept us in the game was the brick wall of Spain in our goal. Who was again phenomenal, which is great because I'm not the biggest fan of Dean Henderson. So the longer that De Gea can stay in goal, the
Yeah.
better for me. But the second half comes around. Diego Dalot had an absolute disaster class last night, which is a shame
Oh
because
my god, he was so bad. One of my housemates is a United fan,
yeah.
and he was just fuming with him.
Yeah, it's a shame because I would have liked him to taken the opportunity of Wan-Bissaka being out and kind of try to take the position for his own, but it didn't show that last night. So Paca Alcacer scores
Good
through
goal,
De Gea's
to be
legs.
fair.
Say again?
It was a good goal.
Yeah,
no.
no.
One of them nice Champions League goals.
Danjuma was really good last night. I mean,
was
at the end of the
very
day, they did deserve to win the game. So, so that happened. Do you know what? I can't remember the equalising goal. Is that
Yeah, you
that's
can.
that's embarrassing. I know I can't. Mate.
Tellez.
Oh, of course I can. Yeah. And speaking of fullbacks, trying to take positions off people.
Yeah.
Tellez is a shambles when it comes to defending, but when he was at Porto, he'd scored bangers for fun. I mean, a lot of them were penalties, but he did score some absolute belters. So the ball falling to him felt quite good. Plus, he's cut off his hair, so he looks more like he did when he was playing for Porto. So maybe that's it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's an absolute belter of a goal, isn't it?
Good finish from that.
Great finish. Again, massively not deserved, but Champions League, you just don't care. And the main two things to talk about are Donny van der Beek throwing a tantrum and Jesse Lingard being a bit of a baller off the bench recently.
Yeah.
So
And
there's
then Champions
been
League.
yeah, and to Ronaldo, but I'll talk about Donny first because then we can talk about the end of the game. But there's like videos coming out of when Fred came on, of Donny like taking
He's not happy.
his bib off and throwing it on the floor and throwing some gum around or whatever. And it's a difficult one because he doesn't get played a lot, but he also doesn't really play that well when he does play.
And the other thing as well is Fred's come on basically because he's the only left-footed player on the bench.
Yeah, he's come
He's
at
played
the end of
left
the
back.
day. He put in the cross that won the game. So
Yeah. And he's come on at left back. I'm pretty sure if Van der Beek had been put at left back and you'd gone, there's no point in me doing this. Do you know what I mean? You'd have probably refused to go on at left back.
well, he wouldn't have crossed
It's
the
like-
ball in, and we went on the game. So
Exactly.
it was a good substitution. So I do feel for Van der Beek because he's a good player. Honestly, he is. But
I'm confused as why he doesn't get used more, but
because he just
It's
doesn't
conversation for another day.
fit the system when you've got a number 10 that we have that just plays so well a lot of the
Yeah.
time.
yeah, I can agree with that.
But I'm sure he'll get some chances this season.
Yeah,
We are
sure.
6 games into the league. It's not like the end of the world. He will play in the cups, obviously. I mean, that isn't enough for a player like him, but
But
he will get
you've
chances.
only got one cup left as well, as you said earlier.
True.
Like,
But-
that does really hinder a player like him. Do you know what I mean?
He'll play in the Champions League a bit, 100%.
I mean, you've got Atlanta back to back. I would be surprised if you played both of those games.
Yeah, he just needs to play well in a game enough for him to be, like a goal or an assist, to make an impression because he just hasn't done that so far.
Yeah.
But away from that, Jesse Lingard's having a bit of a revival, which is lovely. Assisted the Ronaldo goal, in which I almost broke my leg celebrating. I went completely nuts, which is fine. It's the Champions League. It's what you do.
Yeah.
Probably should have been offside.
No,
But-
I was having this conversation earlier. There's no way you can give it. If you give that offside, like that phrase, "Game's gone." Game's
Yeah,
gone.
yeah.
He,
I mean, the reason
But
they haven't
Lingard's
is because
on
he's
the
on the
floor,
floor. Yeah, he can't move.
and he's
so
also
it's not-
not sure where the ball's gone, and
Yeah.
it flies past his head, and he's like, "Fucking hell, I'm gonna die if that hits me in the face." Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but
So it's
it,
like,
it comes back round to what I was saying earlier. We won the game on an individual being a
Yeah.
world class individual.
like Mark Goldbridge had moments FC.
Exactly, and that's something we have to move away from because that won't happen in every game. You cannot rely, even a player that is as inevitable as Cristiano Ronaldo is. You just can't rely
No.
on that for every
Yeah,
game.
for sure.
So we need to sort that out. But as it was a lovely feeling to win the game at the end because
Yeah.
to beat Villarreal after losing to them in the Europa League final was lovely.
Yeah.
It's great to see Unai Emery sad because for some reason, as soon as he's not in the Premier League, people then seem to forget that he was quite bad in the Premier League and
Yeah,
then just
the thing
hail
is, he
him
was
as this
decent
like
man,
master tactician.
The thing is, he wasn't
Um,
actually bad for Arsenal. Like they bit the bullet too early on him. Like he would have qualified them for Europe both
Yeah.
seasons. I'm pretty confident. And they went, nah, that's not good enough. It's like, come on.
But I think people seem to hype him up more when he's
Yeah,
in
I
Spain.
know
It's
what you
a
mean,
bit
I know.
strange. But yeah, it was nice to beat them, but we do need to improve big time.
Yeah, it'll come a time. I'm sure you'll be fine eventually.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, I
maybe.
watched the game. I had both the Juve and the Man United game on, and it was quite entertaining again. I mean, Villarreal did look half decent. But
Yeah,
as
we
you said,
did get absolutely played off the park by them.
It does
for
help you.
a big
it does
portion
help
of the
you that
game.
you've got Varane and De Gea at the back at the moment. So
Yeah, I think
this,
Varane is as important to this season as Ronaldo is, and
Yeah.
De Gea has been phenomenal. So hopefully that
sorry,
continues.
I've just yawned. There. It's quite late, so I've just yawned. Which is
Oh, I'm
quite
sorry, I'll
funny,
stop
isn't it?
talking and boring.
No,
you.
it's all right. It's all right. I don't know what happened. I literally just had a massive yawn as you were stopping talking. I was like, sugar. But yeah, no. I mean, it was as we said earlier, it was a great weekend of Champions League football. I was buzzing to get on here today to do this because there was so much to talk about. But yeah, I mean, that wraps it up quite nicely.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're heading into this weekend. We've already looked at those fixtures, Liverpool versus City, absolutely buzzing for it, as we said. We will be covering them next week, and I think we have a guest next week, which is cool. First guest. We're going to do a slightly different episode. If you've made it this far, you will know. We'll give you a sneak peek. I think we're going to do our favourite 11 of all time. We're going to pick a 1 to 11, and we're all. There's going to be 3 of us, and we're going to all pick our own who we love the most in each position, or move people around, put them in different positions, whatever. We're gonna do that, and then we have a guest the week after as well. Fingers crossed, which will be good fun. Previewing the Liverpool Watford game, and looking at the next set of Champions League fixtures. So yeah,
Busy couple weeks.
Busy couple weeks. It's gonna be good fun, hopefully. But yeah, that wraps it up for today. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Both of the @s are @FootyChatShow. Thank you so much for listening, and we will catch you soon. Thank you very much, Jamie. See you later.
Yeah, cheers. Bye, guys.